Let's have a real hard look at the new Sony WF-1000XM3. Hey, how's it going, bros? My name is Aaron. Welcome back to another video. This new product from Sony called the WF-1000XM3 is really a refresh of an earlier model called the WF-1000X. Now, I reviewed the WF-1000X in 2017. I didn't really like that product because it looked terrible, it had subpar battery life, subpar noise cancellation, and horrible audio to video syncing. So these are some of the things that I really didn't like about the WF-1000X, but it appears that Sony has made a lot of improvement to this particular product. The new WF-1000XM3 looks like a completely different product, but in a good way. It looks a lot more stealth, more ergonomic. The case is much smaller and a lot sleeker than the previous one. It also contains a lot more battery, 18 hours of juice in the case, 6 hours in the buds. In total, you'll get 24 hours of juice with noise cancelling. So that's a huge leap forward compared to what we had with the WF-1000X, the old model. That one had 9 hours in total. So 6 hours in the case and 3 hours in the buds. Very pathetic, I know. The new ones also supports fast charging. So if you put the earbuds in the case to charge for 10 minutes, you'll get back 90 minutes of playtime. It also supports USB-C now, so reversible connector, all the benefits of USB-C you get to have. And just like the WH-1000XM3, the earbuds come with popular features like ambient sound pass-through, voice assistant support, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, and Siri, and touch controls. But where they are different from the WH-1000XM3 is that their touch controls can be customized within the Sony Headphones Connect app. Now, to what extent are they customizable remains to be seen. Sony also says that the new WF-1000XM3 can give you noise cancelling performance that is similar to the WH-1000XM3, the best noise canceller in the market, at least until the XM4 comes out in September. Whether that is really the case remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, they shouldn't be far apart in terms of noise cancelling performance because they both use the same QN1 noise cancelling chip technology. Now bros, I was looking at these earbuds Bluetooth specs and I've discovered something very interesting which I don't think Sony wants to talk about, so I have to talk about it here. Sony is making this very big deal about how these earbuds, both earbuds can connect to your phone at the same time. So that's great, right? Because that means better audio to video syncing performance due to a shorter signal path, and it also ensures better power management because both earbuds will be using the same amount of power. So I was thinking, could they be using this Qualcomm Bluetooth chip called the QCC3026, which is also used in the Klipsch T5 TrueEyes earbuds, by the way. And earbuds with that chip allows you to enjoy things like Bluetooth 5.0, aptX, aptX HD, and True Wireless Stereo Plus Bluetooth pairing technology, which allows you to pair both earbuds to your phone at the same time. The problem is that this True Wireless Stereo Plus technology only works with higher end Android smartphones, those with the Snapdragon 845 and 855 processors. With other smartphones like the iPhone and the more basic Android phones, you will only have access to the more basic form of True Wireless Stereo, which allows you to connect only one earbud to your phone instead of both earbuds. So this means that you won't be able to enjoy benefits like lower audio to video latency if you connect these earbuds to any other device that do not have the Snapdragon 845 or 855 processor. And it does not help that these earbuds do not have aptX support. Surprise! Yes, unlike these headphones, the WH-1000XM3, these earbuds do not support aptX. So you won't be able to enjoy the benefits that aptX brings, like lower latency when you're gaming or high-res music file playback. Why, Sony? Why? So since these earbuds do not support aptX, yet supports true wireless stereo plus technology, I suspect that Sony is actually using an older version of the Qualcomm QCC3026 chip called the 3007. That is quite a pity, really. So there, these are some of the interesting things that I discovered about the WF-1000XM3. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think that these earbuds are very appealing. I am very interested in trying them out for myself to see how they stack up with their bigger and more famous cousin, the WH-1000XM3, and also how it stacks up with other earbuds as well in the market. I'm interested to look at its noise cancelling, its call quality. I think that's one area which I hope they'll be better than the WH-1000XM3. So guys, I hope to get my hands on these $230 earbuds so that I can review them for you. So bros, thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. And if you did, please kindly, would you so kindly please punch that like button with a vengeance and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and remember to ring the bell to join my notification squad because I upload new videos every single week. I'm sorry guys, but due to this new development, Bro Talk has to be pushed back to next week, okay? But I promise that next week I will be able to answer your questions with another episode of Bro Talk. So thank you guys again for watching. I will see you again in the next one.